What's going on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What's going on, world? Ansley D here with you again with another one. Doing another, what was this? Late night, early morning. You know how I do, doing research, doing some work, come across some things. I tend to hop online and discuss some of the things I came across. And one of the big things that we're discussing is what's going on with mental health, violence, emotional state within society, exactly what's going on with these mass shooting, a lot of violence going on, shooting in public places, violence in school systems. So we're gonna have a little discussion about some of that stuff and where it all stems from. And sometimes we have to have accountability. Um, I know a lot of people out there probably heard of this one that happened in Georgia at the Winder, Georgia, and we'll be discussing some of the stuff that also saw on the Associated Press, and they talked about the inside the Georgia high school, where it was a sleepy morning and it was pierced by gunfire. So this happened early morning, and we're gonna discuss that and the aftermath of that. What else? And that one was by Jeff Amy. Jeff Amy of the Associated Press wrote this article that I'm going to be discussing. Um, so I'm going to have this feed up a little bit more, and just a wide variety of things. Like a lot is going on. So we're going to have to discuss how mental health comes in effect with all of this, and have an open discussion, open dialogue, find some ways that we can overcome this. I haven't been on here for a while, but see what the algorithms see what's going on. Anybody to come on live with me. I know it's early, late. It's 3:33, so like I said, I'm going to be discussing mental health and the effect of like gun violence and violence in society and how we can combat it and overcome it, because it's not just affecting one person, it's affecting the community, it's affecting the country as a whole. And I know a lot of people heard about the Georgia school shooting, so that's going to be one of the discussion point in this live right here, because it's happening too frequently, and not just in school system and not just school shooting, but as well as public places and violence amongst one another and violence amongst us. This psychology thing that I came across while I was doing some research said it's gonna be the what it says the mortality is, am I saying this right? The mortality rate is gonna be higher, but it's not just gonna be because of like anything like disease or anything like that, but it's gonna be on what we inflict on one another. Um, hey, what's going on, House of Wolves? Hey, Mary Jr., how y'all doing? Peace and blessings to you all. So yeah, so like I was saying in that psychology report, it was saying that a lot of things are gonna happen. It's gonna, I think I'm using this word right. Let me know if I'm using it right or wrong. The mortality rate is gonna be higher, but it's not gonna be because of disease or anything like that, but because of what we're gonna inflict on one another in terms of violence, in terms of emotional instability, and the effect of emotional intelligence and not having that. So just alone, this another school shooting is affecting a lot of people. I know a lot of people, um, what you can say, a lot of people mood is very down because of this, and we keep seeing it happen. In fact, in my area, I'm in Connecticut, Hey, what's going on, Trevor? Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Um, let me get so in my area after the shooting, let me see real quick. House of Wolves says I believe that 100%. Yeah, I kind of believe that 100% too, because you really got to see what's going on, especially with the numbers increase of violence that's going on. Shout outs to Trevor. So, like I was saying, even in my area, like about a day or two after that, in a town, they had to like shut down that area because I guess there was what you call there was a threat of gun violence within that school system. So it was like an automatic panic because of what just happened within the Georgia school system. And we gotta definitely check each other and be accountable to each other. Like, you remember back in the days you used to hear that thing where it takes a village to raise a child or a village to, get things going. But even in this article they discuss where the father of the child, the 14-year-old boy, he was also arrested because he allegedly was the one who gave the young man this weapon which he used in order to do what he did. And this is not the first case that happened. And so we have to start doing some research. Like many situations where these gun violences are happening in the school system, and I have nothing against guns. I'm not even gonna get into that like that, but we have to start regulating how these guns are used and how they're distributed, and start having accountability and have more knowledge of guns and what guns can do, and not just, oh, here's a gun and learn how to shoot it. And next thing you know, this person is bringing a gun to school and taking people, unaliving people and hurting people because he has access to bullets and guns and things like that, which he wouldn't have had access to. Your 14-year-old person, you would have access to this then unless he was like, what, 21, 18 in some places you can get maybe a single shot rifle, whatever. But we have to really start having accountability for one another and um, not even just the parents, but even the younger generation starting to have accountability. Um, and with that accountability, it has a lot to do with emotional intelligence and having um, an idea of where your emotions is at. Like, why did you decide to go to school and do this? Like, where's your emotions at? Where's your emotional intelligence? To the father, why did you gifted him this weapon where you can use as a thing to create harm to unalive people? Where was your head at? Where was your emotions at when you decided to go ahead and make this decision? And even him, and even the decision of the emotion of where was your emotion when you gave access to that, you know? Like the access was there. So why was the access there? So I'm gonna discuss the article real quick. Let me start off. And this article was from the Associated Press discussing the shooting and how we can combat it. It's a lot of things that's going on, though. A lot of things that's going on, and especially with it being an election year, it's so. Shout outs to Jeff Amy. I think I'm saying it, or either Jeff Amy or Jeff Amy. Windsor, Georgia, AP Associated. It was the middle of the second period of Appalachian High School, and the boy, who few knew, slipped out of his algebra class in J Hall. That didn't strike fellow student as unusual. He got up sometimes in the morning, and class continued as normal. Lau Sir said he was probably just skipping. I done messed up their whole name, but many teenagers weren't quite awake on Wednesday morning at the high school near Winter. This was early morning. High school start earlier than other schools like elementary and middle school. So suburbanizing Barrow County, so it's like in the suburban area. Junior, which a lot of these shoot. I'm not gonna get into that. Nah, because I can't even get, because it's happening everywhere now. Well, he's having these school shootings because it's not even just in suburban areas anymore. So Julius Sandoval was dozing off in physics class. Other students caught up on their work. Sophomore Jacob King was also dozing off in world history. Well, this kid's dozing off. You gotta wake up. Well, he was at football practice, so he was dozing off. So soon terror, panic erupted as authority says, I don't even want to say the name, but Cole Gray was a 14-year-old student who left class, returned into the hallway with a semi-automatic assault-style rifle and opened fire. Four people was unalived and nine were hurt. Seven of them shot in the latest school shooting that struck the nation. Was man. So let me know your thoughts on that. Like, I'm gonna get more into some discussion of that, but let me know what you think about people's emotional stability and where people emotions are at and who's it to be held as accountability, like who's accountable for all of this. Of course it was his decision, but it's like a punch in the face that's going on. Wait, all right, let me get into some of these comments real quick. Okay. Yo, what, I got trolls. Let me find out my little channel got trolls out here. um Shout outs to House of Wolves. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Um, I guess I can't say certain things, huh? Bigger cranium. Does that mean my forehead? Shout outs to you. Appreciate that. All right, so let's get back into the discussion, right? So I don't know exactly what people saying on there about that part, but of course I'm gonna say I might say that word once or twice, but I'm gonna probably say weapon or whatever like that. If I'm reading an article and it discusses it and it has that in it, I probably mention it. So I'm gonna stay away from using that word because I guess some people get offended by that word. Um, so with that said, so at first the students thought it was drill at the school on Wednesday morning. The alert was sounded when several teachers set off the wearable panic buttons, which Sheriff Judge Smith said were distributed to staff only days earlier. Wow. So they thought it was like a drill, and they got these new things, these new buttons where will alert security or authorities if something is going on, and they just started implementing this thing a few days ago. And it's crazy because the school year just started, man. This is sad things that's going on. Sad things. So mm, so they had a warning flash thing on the classroom smartboard across sprawling school. The screen said hard lockdown in big red words. Wow, I can't even imagine what these students are going through that being in the school system. They have to go through like you go through your regular fire drill, but as well you have to deal with this. Um, I'm getting some signals, so I don't even know. Probably am I violating YouTube things? I I guess I gotta be careful how I voice my opinion on here. Shout out to everybody who's on here. Appreciate you on here sharing your time with me. having this little discussion, watching it live. So they thought it was a drill. So many thought it was a drill at the school. And they were required to complete at least one active shooter drill by October 1st each year. So in Georgia, each school has to complete one active drill before October 1st, which really makes a lot of sense. But then this happens within the midst because school just started this week. So of course they thought it was a drill, and unfortunately it was because some thought it was fake until my friend told me that it wasn't fake, says King. Then he really was acting like then they were really acting like it was I guess they were talking about the teachers. Some heard the sounds of a loud metallic crash which sounded like someone's punching a locker, but it wasn't. For those in the jail hall was no doubt that it was more than just a drill. Students fled or hid under desks. Some were described a black AR-15 refused to let him in. Wow. So he tried to return to his class, and the students saw him and described as a black semi-automatic, and they refused to let him in. Classroom doors at the school lock automatically and must be opened from inside and hardened precaution. Wow. Shout out to Georgia school system for having that in place right there with the school system with the automatically lock and you can't open it until like somebody from inside. So that definitely saved a lot of lives. Man, this right here is emotionally like reading the article is like emotionally drainage. Like that's why we say we gotta work on our emotional intelligence, emotional awareness, self-awareness, just a wide variety of things. Shout out to everybody that's on here, though. Appreciate you being on here. So, a sophomore at the place said a student who left her geometry class to take a test elsewhere came. She ran back inside, shut the door, and then we hear three gunshots. Cameron said. Junior Landover got a glimpse of the shooter after leaving Algebra 2. I was walking out to get water and I heard gunshots and I heard bullets going like by my head. Whoa. It looked like he was wearing a black hoodie and he had an AR. I just didn't really stick around. Yeah, definitely got to get out of there, brother. Oh man, that's sad though. Sad, sad. Oh man. Another student, Marquise, told the Washington Post that the shooter leaned inside an open door of leaned inside an open door of his algebra class and sprayed it with a gunfire, hitting people, including. Oh, so this place, the door wasn't closed probably, so it wasn't able to lock. Others were shot in the hall. Wow. A senior was taking a test in the hallway when she heard, wow. Shout outs to all the teachers though that was telling them what time is it? It's like 3:40, 3:50 in the morning. I swear I just see people outside on dirt bikes. It sounded like three or four dirt bikes just now just went by. He got us up and told us to run because the classroom door was shut. Um, he got us up and told us to run because our classroom door was shut and it was locked, so we couldn't get in there. Okay, so some classroom doors were shut because it was automatically shut. They was outside taking their test. They was told automatically. The teacher across the hall opened the door to get a chemistry classroom, and the student ran inside. I had under the lab table. Okay, so they was able to get to safety. shout out to all the teachers that went into full hero mode on this one, because they noticed that some students were still out in the class, like out in the hallways, and these classrooms are automatically locked, so they can see that okay, these ones are the ones that need help. They're not the ones that's have the weapon that's doing the violence that's emotionally unstable right then. So the teachers turned out the lights, herd students into the corner, behind desk, under the desk, under chemistry tables. Classroom furniture became makeshift barricade up against doors. Whew. Man, I can imagine what these parents is like hearing the call or the news or just to have it. The you get the because I got kids that's in the school system, and I definitely appreciate how the teachers make sure like the doors are locked and things like that. They don't let anybody in that's not authorized. But now we have to worry about the students within the school. That's the one that's doing the shooting, not the ones that's like breaking into the school. We put desk and chairs against our doors. So we put desk and chairs against our doors and built it so nobody could get in. And then we was all quiet. All right, I'm not gonna be on this live too long because this right here, this is very sad and emotional, and um, I really wish we can find some way to stop all this like violence against one another and reduce this emotional effect that we have with one another. Because like I said, that psychology report said, the mortality rate is going to be high, and it's not going to be because of any disease. Well, it might be because of disease, but other than that, it's going to be a lot of it is because of what we're gonna put onto one another in terms of lack of emotional intelligence and putting violence against one another and inflicting violence on one another. Uh, like like when I was doing this research, like even just doing some research, I put in news or current news, and at least 15 articles out of the 15 articles, at least 10 or 12 was pertaining to violence and what's going on in some time of violent shooting. In fact, it was another mass shooting, I think in Kentucky, southern Kentucky. As we speak, they're looking for somebody who was doing some shooting off of some highway. And it's like it goes right back to I'm gonna have to find out that psychologist that was making that quote in that report because they really said some true stuff. So authorities said that the suspect fatally shot students Angelo Mason. They was related. Angelo and Mason. I can't say their last name. Both 14. And teacher Richard Aspinwall, 39, and Christina Ermine, 53. Shot 9 others who were hurt. 8 students and 1 teacher are expected to recover. One of the 3 school resources officers on campus quickly tracked down the shooter, who gave up and was taken into custody. Jeez. Shout outs to the school resource officers too. Shout outs to them. And shout outs to the sheriff. Shout outs to the whole everybody who was doing something right there to help out with that situation. Some students said that they heard the shouts from an officer ordering the shooter to halt and put his gun down. I heard the like what you thought he was in a video game. Like where was his emotional, where was his mental health? What I'm gonna do some more research and we're gonna come back on this another time, discuss the father ideas, where his father mental health is at, where his father case is at as well. Some students said they heard shouts from an officer ordering the shooter to halt and put down the gun. I heard get down, get down, get down, don't move. Reed said then the sound of the shuffle. Man. So the terror wasn't over. Some students and teachers took off their clothes to try to stanch bleeding from gunshot wounds. Deputies with guns drawn searched classroom by classroom for anyone wounded as well. Students huddled and text others like their parents, one another. Man, yeah, definitely gotta show love to your peoples. So yeah, I'm not gonna get too much more into this article. They said parents abandoned cars and ran into the school. And that's probably remember that Texas shooting when the authorities didn't want to do anything, and the parents end up being the ones, or some parents was end up being the ones to run up in the school and try to get help. So that's probably what happened. The hundreds of panicked parents who raced to the school created a traffic jam along the two lanes road near Appalachian High. Many abandoned their cars and ran towards the campus. Oof, man. Mm. Pharaoh's mother said her daughter texted a photo of her barricaded under the table. Damn. Wow. Um, there's more to it. You can check it out in the Associated Press. Um, Probably got about another page or two that you could read. Um, in terms of the aftermath, I don't want to get too much into it because it's a lot of description of parents and students, and I don't want to put their name out there, even though it's publicly out there already. So let me know your thoughts on this. What's your emotional state at with some of this? What's your mental health? Shout out to everybody who's on here. I, I hope that you have some good type of mental health and that your emotional states are right and which environment that you in, and to hopefully violence in your area is reduced. Nah, I don't want to take the guns away, bro. I just want I don't want the guns to take taken away. I just people want to learn, um, have more knowledge of the gun, like learn what the gun can do, what it will do, what it could do, the effects of it, the aftermath. Um, is you using gun for safety? Is you using gun for hunting? Is you going to using gun for as a sport? I have no problems with it. Like, trust me, I have no problems with the amendment and the rights to own guns. Trust me. Um, with that said, nah, I don't think people should. I just think like I don't think that a teenager, a 14-year-old, should have access, especially access during school time, especially with things going on, to have access to a weapon where he can bring it to gun. Yeah, you can teach him how to use it, have it locked up and stuff like that. But I don't think that he should have access to it so easily. Um, I have no problems with kids or children um, having learning how to use a gun or um, even owning a gun, but owning a gun under the authority of the parent, where the parent is like, you wouldn't give a 14-year-old a car to just go, well, some people do, to just go driving around willy nilly. And that happens too, where people give their 14-year-old a car and then the 14-year-old go driving, speeding, drinking, and causes accident, causes more like drama. Um, what else? What else? Nah, so I don't want to take away guns, man. I believe in gun rights. Definitely believe in gun rights. I just think people using guns the wrong way, and then you also have people who are have access to guns and purchasing guns and um, Then they have substance abuse, and in order to support their substance abuse or fund their substance abuse of illegal narcotics, they will tend to purchase guns legally and sell them back in the streets illegally, which will create more gun violence within the urban area. So that's some of the problems I have with guns. But I have no problem with people owning guns. Like if you own it legally or whatever, if you're using it for protection and safety, I have no problems with it. You want the feds to? Nah, I want the feds to run my life. I don't want the feds to do it. I want people to have accountability of what they're doing with their guns. Crazy people will always find. Come on now, Trevor. We talking about gun violence within the school system. It's happened too often, man. That that right there is. I need to start getting a moderator. Do my little channel need a moderator, yo? Oh man, this dude said things happen. Move on. Come on, bro. Wow. Shout out to everybody that's on here. I can't believe that one right there. Ain't nobody said nothing about taking away people's coupons. All I said from reading this article was this 14-year-old should not have access to a gun where he can bring it to school, create havoc on the students and their family, as well as teachers. Oh man, see that's a. What else you gotta say, Trevor? Let's see what else. Because if I had a problem with guns, or people should take away their guns, I would have said, oh, the resource officer shouldn't have had a gun. I'm grateful that resource officer was there with a gun, able to tell him, hey, put that down, get down. What are you doing? Hmm? But it's late. I'm about to get up on this live. Thank y'all all for being on here. Appreciate your time. I'm about to give it about 21 seconds more. See what else y'all got to say. Wow. My little channel got crazy people. This dude said big eye cranium. A voice says, appreciate that, man. Some people used to say, oh, what that cartoon? They used to say, oh, your forehead favor that cartoon. What's that cartoon? I can't remember. It was a cartoon, but was it the brain? Pinky and the brain? Take over the world. They used to rank on me. They used to say, take over the world head. Life, boy. Gotta give thanks, though. Gotta give thanks who's still here. Make sure you control that, though. Yeah, big cranium. Try to control it. Control your mental health. Make sure you're aware of what's going on in life. Make sure you have self-awareness. Make sure you have emotional intelligence and able to control your emotion state within the environment. And also try to avoid the violence that's going on in society. So once again, appreciate you for being on here. Appreciate you for sharing your time with me. Please hit that like button, subscribe. Be doing some more topics. Um, just come with me. Machiavelli, Tupac. Actually, what's today? Today is actually marked what? How many years now since Tupac was shot? It's the day, not the day that he passed away, but the day that he shot. He was shot in Las Vegas at the after that fight, that Mike Tyson fight. I think today marks the when in 2006, no 96, 6, 16. It's almost what? So 28 years. What? Wow. So today would mark 28 years since Tupac was shot in Las Vegas, and he passed away some days after. Alright, I'm about to get off of here. Nobody have any more comments. Appreciate y'all being here. Shout out to everybody who left a comment. Even though towards the end we didn't have agreement on some things. Shout outs to House of Wolves. Shout outs to Mary Jr. Shout outs to Trevor. Shout outs to Bob with the violin. Shout outs to Future G. Shout outs to Void. Shout outs to everybody that was on here. Appreciate y'all. And I hope y'all have a great day. Continue to be safe out there. Until next time, peace.